Hi, this video is about testing and training your foot and ankle control. So a really important thing for you to know is that when you're running longer distances, the majority of your power, even over 50% of the majority of your power, actually comes from your calves. So the gastrocnemius and the soleus muscles. And so they can help you with improving that ability to propel yourself forward. But you also need to be able to have single leg balance, because running is single leg balance over and over and over again. And so improving your foot and ankle control and your calf strength can make a big difference in how well you run. So the first thing we're going to do is test how well you can stand on a single leg. Preferably this will be done without shoes, because it gives you better feedback and you don't have anything to rely on. If you feel like you really can't do this well, you can always put one finger on a wall to be able to make sure that you don't completely lose your balance and fall over. So what you're going to do is stand on one leg and see if you can hold for at least a minute. If you can do that well, then what you can do is challenge that balance even more. One way you can challenge that balance is by stepping on a foam pad or onto a pillow, throwing off the surface a little bit. You could use a Bosu ball, something that makes your surface not so hard and steady, and you can hold your balance for up to a minute that way, or work up to a minute if this is really difficult for you. So the next thing you can do is add load into that balance system, and this improves your proprioception. So grab a weight. It doesn't have to be a super heavy weight, depends on what you can control by pressing overhead. So you're going to stand on one leg and march with the other leg, stand up like this, and the leg that you're standing on is the same arm you're pressing with overhead. So you're going to press, hold, nice and control, 10 seconds, and then back down. And you can repeat these on the other side. The next thing you're going to do is test a single leg heel raise. So this brings balance and control. So again, you can hold on to a wall or a counter nearby if you need to, and you're going to test how well you can rise up onto your toes on a single leg. Can you do that 10 times? And then repeat on the other side. What you want to make sure of is when you come up onto your toes, you're not rolling to the outside. You want to stay with weight over that big toe. Now, if you have a hard enough time just doing that, that becomes your training session. If that's easy, then what you can do is add either some type of wedge or go off of a sturdy step that's not going to tip over, that gives you greater range for the movement. So if you're standing on a wedge, then can you go up and down onto your toes, back and forth. So this gives you greater range of the plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. All right, then we're going to talk about the soleus muscles for a minute. So the soleus muscles are the flat, longer muscles that lie underneath the gastroc, and they activate when your knee is bent. So you're pointing your toes, you're flexing your foot while the knee is bent. That's when they're being used. You may have seen people say to stretch your calves this way, but also with a bent knee. The bent knee gets the soleus muscle. So in order to test that strength of the soleus, what you can do is a heel raise and a squat. So go down into a squat, and then how well can you come up and down onto your toes? Back and forth 10 times. Now, if that's easy, you can add a weight. So grab a kettlebell or a dumbbell, go into a loaded squat, and then up and down onto the toes. Another thing I really like doing is testing out the concentric and the eccentric part of this squat. So what this looks like is, I'll turn to the side so you can see, go up onto your toes, squat while you're on your toes and see if you can hold it there. Then lower your heels down, then stand. So it's up on the toes, squat, lower the heels, stand. Up on the toes, squat, lower the heels, stand. So this shows you that balance is a mixture of coordinated movement, precise movement, and then throw in speed, agility, and power. It makes for a really important thing for athletes to need to know how to be able to balance their body, especially on a single leg. All right, then the last one is dorsiflexion. So that's where instead of pointing the toes come up. So one way you can test this is lean your rear end against the wall, straighten the legs, and how well can you stay on the heels and lift your toes up. So this may be really difficult for some people. It may be really easy for some people. If it's difficult, that could be one of your exercises. What I also have people do is walk around on their heels to help work on that ankle dorsiflexion. So those are exercises for foot and ankle control in runners. They can be your way to self-test and also to train. So here's to lacing up your shoes with confidence.